Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Tim, and I am making a video today to show you how yesterday's support or yesterday's resistance will become today's support or today's resistance. It's always a transverse, I guess is what you would call it, relationship where former support resistance becomes support and vice versa. So, a quick uh, So when we reach the peak somewhere, like let's say we're going to talk about this first peak back in 2017. This is right when I got started. In fact, I got started right about here. This green candle right here. So I started on this uptrend. It was a nice time, but we stopped right here at about $20,000. Okay, there's different exchanges are going to have different data. So I'm just saying 20 grand is where we stopped. It's just a nice round number. So let's say that 20,000. Okay, fair enough. Now, what are we going to do there? I want to draw a very straight line. So I'm going to use this horizontal ray that ensures that the line will be straight from the point I choose. So I'm going to pick this point right there. And you see what happens. And this is why I did this. On the weekly chart, it's not going to show you too many instances because every one of these candles is 7 days. So if you want to look at for more instances of this happening on the chart, you'll just have to go to like a daily time frame and you can find more instances of this. It's just you have to do a little more legwork. But this is a very easy one to show you. All right, so we topped out here and we spent literally since almost over 3 years, around 3 years exactly, till we broke through it. And uh, that's a lesson for another video. I don't want to sit here and go over the weirdness of it happening exactly 3 years to the day where we peaked at 20K on December 17th and we broke 20K on December 17th. So it was kind of one of those things where like I said, I'll discuss that in a different video. But my whole point of the matter is to show you this is support or this is resistance for all this time. And when we got up there, we spent literally 3 weeks trying to break above it. And when we finally did, the breakout was tremendous because this was a long standing resistance and everybody knew it was going to give us trouble when we got to it, okay? And when we broke it, relative ease. I mean, a couple of weeks isn't too bad. People were starting to lose hope, though. I remember we were cruising along here and people were posting, I'm about to short Bitcoin, and I was like, that's not the best idea. We haven't dropped yet. You need to, the bulls seem intent after this. This is a very clear example of a continuation pattern. So straight up consolidation, straight up again. I mean, it was just a lot of bullish things happened this year that we need to take into effect. But I mean, that's another thing, another time for another video. But now that we broke through this, look, the climb went from 20,000 all the way to 42,000. So that's over 100% gain. And you know why that happened is because this 20,000 resistance was quite significant. And that's not the only reason. There's also many other reasons. It can anything from inflation of the U.S. dollar to the halving happening over here in May, I think, and then the people got a bunch of money up in this area. We had a dip here, which caused two of the biggest volume candles I've seen in my entire life for Bitcoin. So this year had a lot of. Oh yeah, we also broke some a descending resistance, which is another thing I'm going to show you. Just because it's not straight line doesn't mean it's not resistance. Okay, so I'm going to start it from the same peak that I started the yellow line from. But I'm going to draw it to where it intersects these right here. That's the peak in 2019. Remember that when we hit 14,000? Well, here is the kicker right here. Okay, so we spent all this time under it, and when we finally broke above it, we did classic retest. That's trading 101. It happens all the time. So we broke resistance, retested support because resistance becomes support, remember, and broke up. and that was a classic bull move, and it kickstarted this bull run. You know what I mean? We've been going parabolic ever since until the last 2 weeks, which shows you, hey, where's resistance now, or where can we expect there to be resistance now? And I would say right about here, huh? Because we topped out at 42K. So I'm going to expect, if we do spend some time in between here and we do make a break up for it, I'm going to expect there to be some resistance here. And why am I showing you guys that? It's important. Every bit of information you could keep at this level is important, because look, we've had a ton of information underneath this yellow line, but look, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles on the weekly above that yellow line, which shows you there's just not a lot of data for above 20,000. So we have to take what we can get, guys. And like I said, there's definite resistance here, there's definite support here. That leaves a big gap trend right here. I mean, a big gap to be filled, which means we could end up going all the way down to 20K again, and hopefully it holds the support. But nothing's guaranteed, guys. We could certainly fall back below it. Anybody that knows anything about Bitcoin knows how volatile it gets, and I'm thinking that with a few of the economic moves the U.S. is making lately, that might not be the case. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that, guys. But like I said, this video is about identifying support and resistance in a historical, really, historical way. So you could see that this was played a factor for 2.5 years, and we finally broke above it. And look, that breakout, this could be attributed to breaking the 2.5 years. So we went from 10,000 to 20,000. That's 100% increase. Okay, we stalled out here, and when we finally broke above 20K, it was the same thing, breaking above this, another 100% increase, which is incredible, guys. You don't ever hardly see a 100% increase on any asset in a year, let alone two 100% increases in less than 6 months. So that is something that is something to pat our backs. We were right, and everybody else was wrong. So uh, but this video isn't about that. This video is about identifying support and resistance. And like I said, you can do that historically by going back into time and drawing the lines like I did, like this, and now you know this one. And I mean, you could go to the daily even and find other instances where, you know what I mean, where there's more data at this higher level up here. I mean, like I said, you could find that, see how there's actually some support at this level. So what I would do is, that's why I've been telling people there's probably some support around 24K. It's because there is a nice spot where we topped out for a while and then broke above it. Okay, and that's why I would consider this a possible level of support. So, like I said, switching time frames helps, guys. And this too, right here, this is 20K though, so this is one we were just looking at. But switching time frames can help out, guys. And you can see, look, right here as well, we're finding support right in this level as well, because you can see the candles haven't really broke below it. These never did. They wicked below it, but we closed and opened above it every time. So that shows that this could play out like this, which should be bearish anyways. But you got to get creative when you're making charts, and that's what I'm doing here. And this may not work out. We may fall out of this before I know it, but we may end up bouncing around it in a while, because the pattern looked different at first. Whenever we were like this, people were thinking, well, we could break up, but we didn't end up breaking up, and you could see what happened when that pattern failed. Look, we dumped to the bottom, and now we're on a right. We're possibly making a right triangle, which should be bearish, guys. Unless we follow this cloud up out of there, I'm thinking that's bearish. But like I said, that's not what this video is about. This video is about identifying support and resistance from historical data. So that's why I drew these. This is a very helpful line right here, the horizontal ray. It doesn't matter where you draw it, it's straight across for the rest of the chart. I mean, it'll stay on there until you delete it like this. So, like I said, draw it on there, leave it on there until it's no longer significant in your eyes, or it should be stay significant. You saw how long this 20,000 stayed significant over 3 years, about 3 years. It stayed significant, so it's still significant. If we come back down, I guarantee you $20,000 is somewhere where I'm going to think support's going to show up. And guess what? I'm not the only trader that thinks that. So using historical data is important, guys, and that's what this video is all about. So I hope you learned something, and like I said, I'm going to end it here. Pretty simple stuff, but like I said, it's helpful. So I hope you got something from this, and have a good one, guys.